What up? This is my TNA Final Resolution pay-per-view predictions for TNA's pay-per-view. It's going to be airing this Sunday live on pay-per-view. The opening match is going to be the Feast or Fired match, with the stipulation being that it's going to be 4 briefcases on each corner, each one containing world title shot, X Division title shot, a tag team title shot with the partner of your choosing, and the other one being the fired pink slip. And they did this earlier this year at Final Resolution. Normally this pay-per-view is aired in January, but they switched up the dates they air some pay-per-views. Like Turning Point used to be their December pay-per-view, but they had that last month. So this is the second Final Resolution of 2008. Earlier this year, when they did Final Resolution in January, that's when they did the angle where Christopher Daniels got the pink slip and they wrote him off, and then he came back as the Curryman gimmick. And the people that are involved in this match are the Motor City Machine Guns, LAX, Rock and Rave Infection, P.D. Williams, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, B.G. James, Curryman, Shark Boy, Kip James, and Consequences Creed. This is going to be one of those matches that I'm not going to like that much, probably. It's got like one of those matches that's already bound to be a clusterfuck right from the beginning. I think it would be better if they would have just done it like, a battle royal type, if they want to do the Feast or Fire thing, and have it be, it comes down to the final 2, and whoever wins it gets a world title shot, and the person that loses and gets pinned, he's the one that gets fired. I think that might work out better. Either way, it would be, a kooky gimmick match, but still probably work out a little better than this. Who will win the world title shot? I think Jay Lethal will. Jay Lethal is definitely ready to transition from the X Division to the world title picture. The only thing is he's doing this whole Black Machismo Macho Man gimmick. It's going to be kind of hard to take him serious going to the main events. Now, the person that will get the X Division title shot probably Consequences Creed. Not a fan of him, but TNA feels like, I guess they like him, so they'll probably push him to X Division title shot, either against, whoever wins the match later on in the evening against Eric Young and Sheik Abdul-Bashir. And probably as far as the world title shot, they've been building up these whole rough cut segments with LAX, so LAX will most likely get the tag title shot with either Hernandez or Homicide getting the briefcase. And probably as far as the Fire, and I think they'll probably do Curryman getting the briefcase. Hopefully they'll write that character off, then have Christopher Daniels some point down the line return as himself. But the thing is, I don't know how they'll do that, because I don't know how they'll explain. Are they going to actually play it off that he got fired and he's trying to get his job back, or will they just have him pop up? That's going to be the only thing that's going to be kind of hard to do. Then the next match is going to be the beautiful people Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, and teaming up with Charmel versus Roxy Laveau, ODB, and Taylor Wilde. Now, this match was intendedly supposed to be a one-on-one match with Charmel and ODB. Thankfully, they changed it. Not saying that this is going to make it a great match, but it's going to at least make it into a watchable match, especially since Charmel's not going to have to be in the ring that much. But most likely, the beautiful people and Charmel will go over in this match. Charmel probably will be the one to gain the pinfall. Then the next match is going to be Eric Young versus Sheik Abdul-Bashir, a.k.a. Davari, for the X Division title. And they did this earlier this month on Impact, where they did the thing where it looked like Eric Young actually got the X Division title from him, but due to the help of the referee, I think Shane Sewell, they overturned it. Sheik Abdul-Bashir got the title back, and that's pretty much what is built up for this match to happen. So I expect Sheik Abdul-Bashir to still go over, still be X Division champion, because he's one of those things in the X Division that makes the X Division seem a little different since he's a heel. And I think it possibly could work for maybe a month or two longer, or obviously if he retains and Consequences Creed, like I said, if he gets the briefcase for the X Division title, they'll go on the whole anti-American versus American storyline, which is one of those old things that companies like to do still, even though it doesn't garner as much heat as it once did. Then the next match is going to be the TNA Knockouts title match with Amazing Kong versus Christy Hemming. Now, this is going to be one of those matches that hopefully at least be watchable. Amazing Kong probably can carry Christy through a overall probably okay match, and it seems like Christy Hemming, she's been improving a little. Maybe she gets a little more training. She actually could be a whole lot better for the TNA Knockouts division. This is obviously not going to be a complete squash. They have been building Christy Hemming up, so you'll see it be a little offense in here with Christy Hemming back and forth. It will look like she's going to win the TNA Knockouts title, but then Amazing Kong will hit her with the Awesome Bomb for the victory. So Awesome Kong will retain the TNA Knockouts title, but Christy Hemming will at least look credible going forward in this match. Then the next match is going to be for the TNA Tag Team titles. It's going to be Beer Money Incorporated, James Storm and Robert Roode versus Abyss and Matt Morgan. And definitely got to say, the Beer Money Incorporated, I'm not a fan of Robert Roode or James Storm, but as far as a tag team, they've definitely been doing a good job with each other and definitely been showcasing that they could work good as a team. When they first, teamed up, I never expected them to work out as far as being a good team, but definitely they proved me wrong there. So they'll most likely retain here. I don't think TNA would be dumb and have them lose the tag team titles to Abyss and Matt Morgan, which is pretty much a thrown-together team. They've been teaming up since Bound for Glory, but it's pretty much just a thrown-together team. Matt Morgan's one of those talents where they pretty much need to scrap him, get rid of him. Abyss is a talent that if they use him right and utilize him right, they possibly could, make him a credible heel monster going for the world title if they do it in the right way. I think his character's pretty much been killed so bad that it'll be hard to build that up, but with the right booking, you could do that. So Beer Money Incorporated will retain, at least hopefully. Then probably at the I think Genesis pay-per-view in January, whoever probably gets the tag title shot, either, like I said, I think LAX will get it. So LAX will probably be the team to defeat them. Then maybe we'll finally get the LAX versus Motor City Machine Guns feud for the TNA tag titles. That would definitely be good. And then the next match is going to be Rhino versus Kurt Angle and the Special Enforcer Mick Foley. Stipulation of this match is going to be that if Rhino is able to defeat Kurt Angle cannot defeat him. Kurt Angle has to retire and quit TNA Wrestling. Obviously, with that stipulation, it completely gives out that, Kurt Angle is going to win this match. They're not going to go the route of doing some storyline that he's going to be fired. His TNA contract doesn't end until September 2009, so he's there for, at least, 9 to 10 more months. That's if, after his contract, he might re-sign, he might not. Guess we'll just have to wait and see what they'll do. But obviously, they're not going to go the route of doing the Angle, getting him fired. I don't think they'll go that route. So Kurt Angle will win this match, but they'll at least make it seem like in some portions of it that Rhino is going to defeat him, or something like Mick Foley tries to screw Kurt Angle, something like that. Wouldn't surprise me if they did that, but Kurt Angle will win this match. Then the main event is going to be the Main Event Mafia, Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner, Sting, and Booker T versus the TNA Frontline of AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Team 3D. And the stipulation of this is if the Main Event Mafia won this match, Sting gets to hold on to the title and retains it. And if the TNA Frontline wins, now no matter who gets the pinfall for some reason, AJ Styles becomes world champion. And that's a really dumb gimmick. This would have worked out better if they would have just gone in with it being no title on the line or anything. Would have worked out better. WCW did something like this back in the day, and it was completely stupid. They didn't do it in an 8-man tag. They did it at, I think, Bash at the Beach 99. I remember Nash was involved. It was a tag match with the title being on the line. Never like when they do stuff like that. It just needs to be, either a, four-way, three-way, or a one-on-one match with the title on the line. Not, an 8-man tag and a stipulation like this where if the other team, say Samoa Joe gets the pinfall, AJ Styles gets the title. I know they'll do it that way if, it goes that route, dissension with the TNA Frontline, but they won't do that. The Main Event Mafia will win this match. Sting will still be the TNA World Champion, because I don't want AJ Styles to win the title in some 8-man tag and Sting not do the job or something like that. It would be completely idiotic. So, hopefully they keep Sting as World Champion and then have either at Genesis or the February pay-per-view, which I think is against all odds, have AJ Styles win that match. So that's my predictions of TNA Final Resolution. Now I just want to get off some wrestling news-related topics that I want to discuss, pretty much relating to contractual status of some WWE stars and one TNA star. And Randy Orton has been offered a 10-year contract from WWE. Don't know if he has signed it yet, but most likely we'll all know he will. Definitely a smart move for WWE, trying to get him locked under a 10-year contract. The money for the contract hasn't been established, how much he's getting paid each year, but expect probably somewhere from $1 million or a little more each year, especially since they did this whole thing back in the day with Mark Henry with the 10-year contract with $1 million each year, which that was a complete failure, but this will not be a complete failure. Randy Orton will, be a good talent for WWE in the future. I mean, he's very young, so you expect him to be with WWE for at least 10 to 15 years, maybe even longer, depending on how long he wants to wrestle for, unless, something happens with an injury or something that stops him from wrestling. But other than that, he's going to be with WWE for a long time. Other contract news is that Rey Mysterio has been offered a 5-year contract from WWE, and WWE has been trying to get him to sign this 5-year contract. Rey Mysterio is not really, at this point, signed the 5-year deal. He's trying to get it to turn now to a 3-year deal. So, like the Randy Orton thing, we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, he'll probably re-sign with WWE. I don't think he's going to leave WWE, go for TNA. I don't think he would do that, especially with the money WWE's going to be offering him. Especially WWE, if they have to, they'll go with the 3-year deal, mainly due to the fact that Rey Mysterio is one of those talents in WWE that makes a lot of money with the kids demographic. So it would be dumb for them not to, suit what Rey wants to do. And other contractual news, and this involves a TNA star, former WWE star Kurt Angle, and his contract ends in September 2009, like I said earlier. And at this point, there's been some internal discussion with WWE to possibly bring him back. That's if he doesn't re-sign with TNA, which don't know which route he could go. Obviously, WWE will throw him a lot of money if they want him back that bad. And if they throw him a good amount of money, he'll probably leave TNA. And, you kind of been noticing in the recent months, TNA has kind of slowed down how much they've been pushing Kurt Angle to the moon like they did at one point. So, obviously, TNA might be already trying to be a little safe at how far they book him. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Definitely, if TNA, I don't think they have enough money compared to WWE. WWE will throw enough money. And if he does go back to WWE, they've been saying that they'll have him under somewhat of a limited schedule, kind of like Shawn Michaels. So, you would not see him wrestle that much. Then, as far as a little Ring of Honor news, pretty much, after the Rising Above 2008 pay-per-view tape, which is going to be airing in January of 2009, probably mid or late January. And this pay-per-view, they had a new production staff at this taping, and definitely from one of the recent Ring of Honor video wires where they showcased clips from Samoa Joe's and Tyler Black's match, which isn't going to be aired on the pay-per-view. That's going to be a DVD exclusive for the Rising Above pay-per-view DVD when that comes out, about a month after the pay-per-view. That's when you'll be able to see that match. But definitely from clips of that, you definitely can tell how much better the production was. The lighting, camera angles, and everything. It's definitely showing that, so far this new Ring of Honor direction they're going in is definitely working out good. Showcasing they're finally putting out more money for better production. Definitely, storyline development I think is going to be still good. As far as, the countouts or DQs, don't really have a problem with it. It's a thing that's always done in wrestling. Just has to make sense when they do it. So definitely good to see that they did that. And, now we're seeing more frequent video wires and clips. So definitely looks like, as far as right now, the new Ring of Honor direction under Kerry Silkins and Adam Pearce definitely looks like it's going to work pretty good. And definitely with this new production, everything. And yeah, that's it for this video. I just wanted to add this to the end of the video. Just 2 things I just wanted to add to before I upload this video, which you'll see, my predictions and a couple other things I just discussed. But I wanted to add in 2 other things real quick. And the first thing I want to discuss, which is a thing I just found out probably about, an hour or 2 ago, and that's, I guess, Kayfabe Commentaries, which I gotta say is the king of the shoot interviews right now. Definitely has far surpassed what RF Video's done with shoot interviews, high spots, or the straight shooting series, which Ring of Honor used to do, which they don't do anymore, which is a sad thing they don't do because I wish they would do that format again. I'd like to see some shoots of Ring of Honor, some of the Ring of Honor wrestlers, namely Bryan Danielson. The Briscoes would be pretty fun to see, maybe even Jimmy Jacobs. I think it would, target something that some fans would want to see. I know there's a small market for it, but I think there's at least a good enough market that possibly could sell it. And definitely with some shoot interviews like the Scott Hall shoot interviews, the Outsider shoot interviews, the Ric Flair shoot interview that he just did definitely showcases that sometimes, certain shoot interviews will interest fans. And I definitely think that this shoot interview that Gabe Sapolsky is going to be doing with Kayfabe Commentaries is going to be a shoot interview called Gabe Sapolsky's Ring of Honor Booking Secrets. And this is pretty much going to be a shoot interview. It's going to be kind of a different Kayfabe Commentary shoot interviews because mostly their formats are going booking-wise. Obviously, they're sticking with that, but other times it's been, rebooking what you would have done. Gabe Sapolsky's one he did before was rebooking the new version of ECW. Kevin Sullivan did one. Greg Gagne's done one. Jerry Jarrett's done one. I would love to see Paul Heyman do one and see what he would change with what he might have made his mistakes in in the original ECW. That would be interesting to see, but I don't know. Paul Heyman has noted several times that he doesn't want to go the route of shoot interviews, but this shoot interview that Gabe Sapolsky's done definitely sounds like it's very interesting. First, I got word from it that Gabe Sapolsky, I just looked on my MySpace, logged into it, and I guess he did a blog kind of slowly hyping it up, and then he said, something where he did something on the lines of a shoot interview or some type of interview. He didn't call it shoot interview. He just worded it as a interview where it sounded like, maybe just an interview with some publication, maybe like UK Sun or something on lines like that, or PWI, but later on we found out that it's Kayfabe Commentaries. They already posted a very small snippet of an article mentioning what it's going to discuss. It's going to be discussing what Gabe Sapolsky would have done if he wouldn't have got fired from the Ring of Honor booking staff and just recently, and what he would have done booking all the way up until the end of 2008, even going further. So obviously Gabe Sapolsky, like I'd expect, I was pretty sure he had, at least 6 months prior booking what he was going to do. So it wouldn't shock me if he has, everything booked till possibly WrestleMania weekend. It'll definitely be interesting to see what he would have done. Would have been interesting to see what he would have done with the tag division, the world title scene, how long he would have had Nigel McGuinness as world champion, even though he's still world champion now. Just wondering how long he had planned that he would have actually kept him as world champion. That would be definitely very interesting to see that, and definitely comparing it to what we're going to see in the coming months with the new direction of Kerry Silkins and Adam Pearce. Which direction sounds like it's going to be better, but since it'd definitely be good that Gabe Sapolsky has some interesting stuff that sounds like it's going to work. I would definitely, if I was Kerry Silkins and Adam Pearce, even though you don't want to kind of use Gabe Sapolsky's ideas, I know you want to make your own, but he might have some good ideas within there that you might want to utilize. It would definitely be interesting to see what he would have done, and looking back what Adam Pearce has done, then we pretty much can compare which one was better, even though one's, technically being booked, the other one's kind of just fantasy booking, even though pretty much Gabe Sapolsky would have booked that anyway if he would have still had the job, but definitely going to be definitely a very, very interesting shoot interview that is going to be done. And the other thing I don't know how I forgot to mention as far as wrestling-related news, wrestling-related topic, is that is WWE is bringing back the Slammy Awards for this Monday's Raw. It's going to be a live 3-hour broadcast special of Monday Night Raw where it's going to be probably, a lot of matches with talent from all three brands on there, and, the Slammy Awards, which definitely is something interesting I like to see. Unfortunately, even though, even though I knew it was going to be like the Cyber Sunday voting and everything, this case, is pretty much, determined by, I guess, WWE, or maybe they'll put some polls up on their website, but apparently now it's just going to be, pretty much even a complete work from WWE. They're just going to choose what they want to, which is kind of idiotic. I wish they would at least create the illusion, like you create the illusion of Cyber Sunday meaning anything to, fans' participation. I think it would be better if at least it had the illusion of it, even though most of us fans already know that it's complete work and it's already determined by WWE, because obviously with Flair being gone from WWE, I don't know if they would want to recognize his match with Shawn Michaels as WWE's best match, even though I would say that's probably WWE's best match, but not far behind it is Undertaker and Edge. I did like that match a lot. I'm probably one of the very few people that didn't think Shawn and Flair was a 5-star classic. I thought it was a very good match, great great story ending for Ric Flair, but not as great as what some people did. So, in my eyes, I could understand why some might say, you know, they enjoyed Undertaker and Edge a little more than that match, but nonetheless, that was, in my opinion, still probably, you know, WWE's best match they had of the year, other than, you know, Undertaker and Edge. So probably in WWE's eyes, unless they want to recognize Shawn Michaels as a match of the year and Ric Flair's not there, they might still do that, but I highly doubt that. But it'd definitely be interesting to see, you know, what they do this Monday Night Raw on the Slammy Awards, and this is going to be right before the Armageddon pay-per-view. You know, like I said, you know, TNA pay-per-view's coming up this Sunday, tomorrow night, and then you got Armageddon the following week, which is shaping up as far as the card so far, which I think is only 4 matches at this point, at least to my knowledge, only 4 matches, and that's the matches that are going to be happening, which are Triple H, Edge, and Jeff Hardy in a 3-way for the title. Definitely sounds like that would be a great match. I don't think Triple H will go over as world champion. Some people are probably worried about that, but I don't think they'll do that. I think they're going to still keep Edge as champion and then have, you know, them branch us off to a Edge and Jeff Hardy feud. And then Triple H will find something to do, maybe a Cause Law feud, or find something to do with it. Maybe building up to a slow, maybe interpromotional match between Raw and SmackDown for WrestleMania. It wouldn't shock me if they did something like that, or something with him and Shawn Michaels doing DX again, something along the lines of that, if they want to go the route of, you know, Edge still as world champion, Jeff Hardy. Another match that's going to be interest me for the pay-per-view is Randy Orton versus Batista. Definitely has big match feel to it. Hopefully it'll deliver, be a good match. Randy Orton's definitely one of my favorite wrestlers in WWE. And Batista, I got to give it to him. When he shows up in the ring, he can perform actually good when he's in there with someone good, and Randy's good. So I would expect these two to perform a pretty good match. This might be, you know, built off something they'll do maybe at the Rumble or maybe even WrestleMania. Possibly could be a WrestleMania match if they don't do the intentionally scheduled plan of John Cena and Batista, which probably they'll do because that has the biggest match feeling of that, because those are probably arguably, you know, 2 biggest draws in WWE. Then, you know, you got the match between Chris Jericho and John Cena for the World Championship on Raw, which definitely, that would be a good match. They had a good match at Survivor Series, but it didn't live up to what it should have, so hopefully since this is the rematch, maybe they held a little back for that pay-per-view, for this pay-per-view, but definitely for Armageddon, which is normally one of those pay-per-views, is a throwaway pay-per-view, not a pay-per-view that I would say is worth going out your way to see. As far as card-wise in recent memories, this so far is looking good. And another match is Matt Hardy versus Jack Swagger, which not a fan of Jack Swagger, but I gotta say at least it ain't, you know, Matt Hardy versus, you know, Giants, Big Daddy V, Big Show, or Mark Henry. So at least you'll get a okay quality match there. Jack Swagger, I know some people might like him. I'm not a fan of him at all. He hasn't really proved anything to me yet, but he hasn't been on WWE TV that long. I have seen a little stuff he's done in Florida Championship Wrestling. That impressed me a little, but not that much to the extent where I think he should be, you know, already getting a push to the ECW title, even though that title doesn't mean anything. I think it would be best utilized to use that title for pushing John Morrison to it, get him out of this tag team with The Miz, even though I do like the tag team, but I think at this point or another, you know, you're going to have to get Morrison out of there, and Morrison, give him the ECW title, let him be on there. Then, you know, when the draft of 2009 in June happens, switch him over to the Raw or SmackDown brand, then, you know, push him to, at first, being in an upper mid-card, or then, you know, down the line, you know, 2-3 years, he could be a potential, you know, world heavyweight contender. I don't think it's ready for him to get that yet, but like I said, you know, so far the Armageddon card is looking pretty good for those 3 matches, and the ECW title match looks at least okay. So I just wanted to get just wanted to throw that out before done with this video. Wanted to throw out the whole thing about Gabe Sapolsky doing the Kayfabe Commentaries shoot, which definitely sounds like it's going to be very interesting. And then the Slammy Awards coming this Monday for WWE Raw. Depending on how it is, if I think it's worthy of doing a review for it, might do a review of Monday Night Raw the following day, sometime Tuesday afternoon, which you'll see it then. Might get my, you know, thoughts out on what they did with the Slammy Awards and what they did that night on Raw, since it is kind of, one of those award things I do like seeing WWE do. They haven't done it in a long time, so definitely be interesting to see. And, just quick thoughts already what I think so far about the Armageddon card, which is going to be happening not tomorrow night, but next Sunday. And that's it. Peace.